okay? I went on Tristan Primal Edge Health's live stream where he has full control of the mute button and the kick button and all this kind of stuff, right? So on his end, it's probably all garbage, but I recorded on my end so you can hear what's going on.
No. What is morality?
I'm happy to talk about
what is morality and what is ethics? Isaac, what is morality and ethics? You're muted again and nobody can hear you.
And, you know, this is a guy, he's a total piece of shit, right? Like, he had a debate with Vegan Gains and me, like, years ago, and all he did was just insult Vegan Gains, and maybe some of you guys remember that.
Do that either. You won't even answer any of my questions, provide any evidence for your statements. You claim that my worldview is self-contradictory. I asked you to give an example of that. You won't. You just started rambling. Isaac is
I can't wait.
Do you have anything to say, Isaac?
All right, guys. We're out of here. This has been really fun. Vegan
okay, so
stands.
you're cucking out of the debate. You know, you lost. No, just rambling about nonsense.
I'm not cucking out of the debate. I gave you guys 2.5 hours of my time when I should have given you none of my time. These sterile
See you later,
boys,
cuck. Bye-bye.
These sterile
okay,
soy boys.
Yeah, cuck away.
Have
Cuck
no
away
way
since
to
you can't come up with
refute
an
it.
argument. Okay.
You can't refute
That's great.
the argument.
You can't come up with an argument, so you're just gonna say a bunch of bull crap and
It's
then
been so
away.
fun. I'm glad I was able to stick it out a little bit longer.
It has been fun indeed.
Jay was pretty intelligent to leave this little session a little bit earlier. So, but this has been just fantastic.
Okay,
you know, I mean,
sure.
your voice. I mean, my wife actually has a more masculine voice than you when she speaks with authority.
Sure completely, like, he's a homophobic, just a piece of trash, right?
What's up? Primal Edge Health sent me some interesting emails. The interview and the live stream, remove them, you disgusting Christians hate right? Then he sent the last email. I defended you many times in the past, so I did defend how's the baby blood fetish? No idea what he's talking about. How is drinking your subscribers' blood and fantasizing about gay sex, you degenerate again? He's obsessed with it. You're getting what's coming to you, don't worry. I'm worried about his family because he's clearly psychotic. The children and his wife, how does he treat them? I can only imagine.
And another thing. Yes, I used the word and you moral about me using the word makes it so much more worth it. Do you think I give a if you post screenshots of me using the word you think I give a dude? You're stupid.
So he's doing a live stream. He has an open call in. You can call in and talk to him. I called in and got on. And what he's been doing, right? He's been avoiding trying to like have any kind of debate with me, right? Like I went on his stream after he told Lifting Vegan Logic that, you know, bring a partner, come on and debate.
Come on for a debate. We'll find two vegans because people really like the Jay Tristan tag team combo. It's always fun. We get me, Jay, you, and some other vegans. We can go on Killstream, or just me and you.
And you can bring, you mentioned bringing a friend. That's fine. I don't care. You can bring a friend too.
You and some other vegans.
And you can bring, you mentioned bringing a friend. That's fine. I don't care. You can bring a friend too.
So this is basically what happened. It's like he was better off before because he was able to say, you know, Ask Yourself never really like owned me. Like I never really talked to him, right? It's like in the debate with Jay, he didn't really talk to me. He just talked to Richard at the end. I spent most of the time talking to Jay. And when I went on his channel with Lifting Vegan Logic, he just muted and around. But this time, I actually got him to some extent to engage with the arguments and just annihilate him. Like you guys are gonna laugh at this, especially if you go further into the conversation. You'll see him just getting totally wrecked when he starts actually letting me talk. And the funniest part, okay, is he was doing the whole, like, you know, just muting me, doing his bull game. But at one point, I started kind of, like, mocking his masculinity. I don't know what the inspiration was, but I was just kind of like, I just think it'll get to him, because he's one of these, like, traditionalist, like, carnivore, whatever. So I started just saying stuff like, which is true stuff, actually, but I was just like, you know, Tristan, are you just gonna hide? Are you just gonna hide behind your mute button like a little coward? Are you just gonna hide behind your friends and let them talk to you? The reason you won't let me talk is because you know that if you let me ask some questions without interrupting, without muting, without dodging the question by asking irrelevant questions, that you will get in the right here in front of your argument, right? In the audience, sorry. Are you scared to let that happen? You gonna cower, Tristan? Right, I started doing that to him. And he really, like, I don't think he expected it, because he kind of like tensed up, and he lost. I like drained his social momentum a bit, because he was feeling all like confident or whatever. And he started kind of getting more like less like that, and I kind of picked up some energy then, because I was just being very like coldly rational at the start, but eventually just got annoyed with him. Like mocking his kind of masculinity like that or whatever really threw him off, and for some reason it produced this reaction, which he'll regret for the rest of his life, of him letting me speak long enough to get a critique halfway across. And it just resulted in him dying, okay? So I asked him to name the trait, right? And all of this is, there's a million stages of dodging through all of this, but like this is the overall dialogue. I asked him to name the trait, right? He says, oh, well, it's being made in God's image. I say, what's the argument that God exists? He says, oh, well, you can't have like knowledge or, truth or morality without God. And I say, wait, are you saying that God is a necessary being? Because he was using words like necessary, God's necessary for this or necessary for that. I got the vibe you might just think God's a necessary being. So he says, yes, right? He says that he's taking the view that God's a necessary being. Now, he kind of waffled a bit, but eventually that's what he says. So I say, oh, okay, well, if he's necessary, then his non-existence entails a contradiction. What contradiction is entailed by God's non-existence? Fucked. He didn't know how to react to it. He had no argument whatsoever. His case completely bottomed out. And all he could do was hide, right? Just the same tactics that he had been doing the whole time, but it was all he could do, right? Just muting, hiding behind super chats, hiding behind this like cringy fake laugh, hiding behind, humor, or behind asking me questions that aren't necessary in order to understand my question, or hiding behind like letting his friends talk. Right? And I would just keep going. Tristan, you gonna actually address the critique, or are you gonna fucking hide? And the thing is, he'd boot me out of the call, but he'd keep bringing me back, right? I started talking to people in Discord. He'd keep bringing me back, because it's almost like he knew on some level. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm guessing here, but it's almost like he knew that, like, he just got in the and, like, he's got to bring me on and one of these times make it work, right? But every time he brought me on, I just went back to the same point.
I heard is that the thing that makes it ethical...
Yeah. You're starting to get triggered already. I can see it.
No, I'm not triggered. It's just
Are you going to let me get through the argument, Tristan?
How long are you going to take to make an argument? You're trying to make my argument for me. What is my argument?
I'm trying to characterize what I take the position to be, ask you if you hold it, and then raise an issue with it. So what I heard Jay say, the thing that makes the moral difference...
Jay's not here.
That's why I'm asking you, just like I said a second ago... that's why I'm asking you if you hold the position, right? I heard him say that the thing that makes the moral difference is having a soul. Do you take that view?
What are you talking about? What is your argument?
That's just a question right now. I'm asking if you...
Humans have a soul? You're asking me if I believe
I wasn't asking if you believe they have a soul. I'm asking if you think that having a soul is the thing that differentiates animals and humans morally, such that it's okay to stab the one in the throat and not the other.
What's the question? Go ahead, Isaac, what is your question? Do you have an argument or a question?
Well, right now I'm just trying to understand what the position is before I can give
what position? You say you want to come to debate.
Obviously,
my
your position,
what?
Tristan. I'm talking to you.
My position on what?
Your position on the question I just asked, which is, do you take the view that the thing that differentiates animals from humans morally, such that it's okay to stab one in the throat but not the other, is having a soul?
Well, I would say that...
I wasn't asking you.
Because...
Am I debating
no,
this?
He's
I mean,
here.
I can debate you both, but I was curious what Tristan's view is. You don't have to keep your mouth shut. If Tristan doesn't want to defend the view, then I'm happy to have you do it. But if Tristan wants to, I'd be curious what he has to say.
It's because I know the view that Tristan holds.
Well, I would like to know if he actually holds it. Do you take the view?
You're trying to make an argument for me.
No, I haven't even made an argument yet. I'm asking you if you hold the view.
What are you asking me again?
So for the fourth time, I'm asking you, do you hold the view that the thing that distinguishes a human... No, that's not the question. That the thing that distinguishes humans from animals morally, such that it's ethical, it's okay to stab the one in the throat, but not the other, is having a soul. I'm asking if the soul makes the moral difference, so you can stab one and not the other. That's the question.
If you want to have a comment here, all right, so good question. If you want to have a conversation about morality and ethics, Isaac, we're going to have to talk about where we derive You asked me a question. I'm answering your question. Shut up and let me answer your question.
I didn't hear the answer, but I'm waiting
Shut
for the
up
yes
and
or
let
no,
me
but
answer.
okay.
But you see, this is what you do.
You
don't
dodge.
respond in good faith. You want to play yes or no.
You're
game.
dodging. Still haven't heard an answer.
Listen, you can shut up and you can let me speak if you want to talk to me on my stream.
You can talk all you want.
Listen,
I just hope that the sentence involves
Isaac,
an answer.
Listen, Isaac, do you want to get kicked again, dude? This is why people don't debate you. You
Because they
fucking
dodge and I don't let them? Why don't you just admit it? Just say, I won't answer your question. I refuse to engage.
Answered your question with I answer your question with a question.
That's not an answer. A question isn't an answer to a question.
I'm not required to give you an answer, dude.
Okay, then just say I won't answer. Then just
I just told you I'm not. I told you 50 times I'm not required to answer your dumb question.
It sounds like you said that you. At one point, it sounds like you said that you answered, but then it sounds like you said you don't have to answer. Did you answer or not?
I don't have to answer your question, dude.
Okay, so just to be clear, and then I'm happy to talk about metaethics. You refuse to answer the question. So now, if you want to talk about metaethics, that's fine. We can do that. But I just wanted to be totally clear that you actually won't. I just want to be totally clear that you won't actually address the critique, right? So what's your question?
I will address the critique. You won't.
Oh, then answer the question.
You don't.
Tristan, if you want to ask your question, you can go ahead. You made it clear you won't answer the critique. That's fine. So what's your question about metaethics? I'll field all your questions before we end this.
So Isaac, you're back. So what is your argument? What are you saying?
Well, right now I'm just asking a question of Deacon in the same way like when I tried to ask you a question, you dodged.
And when I answered your question, with a question, which is perfectly valid in the debate.
Do you think that allows me to? Do you think that allows me to determine what your view is on the thing I asked about?
You tried to define my view for me.
No, I asked if that's your view. I didn't say that it is. I asked if it is. You didn't answer is what you did.
Make a critique. Make your critique. Go ahead. What's your critique?
Okay, now I expect you not to run away during the critique. What do you think it is that is true of animals, that if true of humans, would make it okay in your view to stab them in the throat? That's the first question.
Great. And my reply is, in order for us to have a conversation about ethics and morality, we're going to have to determine how we... Oh, no. Do you want to let me answer? Would you like me to answer?
Are you saying what the distinction is, Tristan? Or are you dodging?
Would you like me to answer?
Oh, I would love it, but you won't. You'll hide, right? Because if I actually force you to answer, you'll just fail.
Okay, I don't...
Why don't you stop hiding like a little bitch, and why don't you answer the question, Tristan?
What am I hiding from, Isaac?
You're hiding from the line of questioning that you know, if you allow me to run without muting me, will make you look like a Now, here's the question. What is it that's true of animals, that if true of humans, cause you to say it's ethical to stab them in the throat?
Human beings are made in the image and likeness of God.
Okay, now, what is the argument that God exists?
Deputy Dave donates £5. Says, I am stuck in Isaac's basement. Please send help. Joshua donates $5. Says, I want to know how many times he cooms a week. I'm guessing. Isaac, how many times per week?
Okay, so the question that I was asking was...
Isaac, hold on. Will you answer a question?
Exactly like...
You're
just
dodging.
like I said,
you're
just
dodging
like
the
I
question.
knew.
The question
just
I'm
like
trying
always.
to...
Keep hiding, Tristan. You gonna hide?
The question
you
is...
gonna hide, Tristan? You gonna hide like a little bitch?
Per week.
You gonna hide like a little bitch,
Go
Tristan?
ahead and answer the question. How many times per week? It's just a simple
you gonna
number.
Hide? You gonna run away like a little bitch, Tristan? Now, here is the question. Hopefully this time you won't hide behind Super Chat. Oh, you're hiding again with the mute button?
So Luthien,
you gonna hide again, Tristan?
$4.99 through Super Chat says, AY, present your position.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
keep
What's your
hiding,
position?
Tristan. Okay, so if you'll allow me to ask a question without hiding, The question is, what's true of animals that if true of humans would allow you?
Made in the image and likeness of God. Now I answered your question.
Now there's a fault. No, you're trying to hide again. Trying to hide again.
How am I hiding? I want to ask you.
You won't let me complete the critique. You won't let me complete the critique. You're just gonna hide. You'll just hide because you know if you let me run it, you'll get. That's what you're doing. You know it, don't you? If you let me speak and complete my points, you get in the ass. That's what happens here, right? So why don't you let me run the argument, you coward? You gonna do it? You gonna hide? Gonna hide behind the mute button? You're right. He's just a coward. He knows if he lets me ask the questions, he gets so he has to hide. He'll hide behind the mute button. He'll hide behind humor. He'll hide behind super chats. I mean, I'm surprised you're letting me talk this much, because this is enough that if this gets across, you look stupid to everyone, right? Okay. So, Tristan.
What's your argument? Do you have an argument?
Okay. So the first question, which you've now answered, was, what is it? I hope you let me complete the sentence before hiding, right? Let's see if you can do that. The first question, which you answered, was, what is it that's true of animals that if true of humans would make you say it's okay to
made
stab
in the image and likeness of God.
Okay. Now, there's two pathways we could go down from here, but I'll pick this one, okay? What is the argument that God even exists, Tristan? And don't out and rely on your buddy. What's your argument?
What is the argument that morality exists?
Oh, you hiding behind a question? You little coward? You want to answer? You think you look good to your audience right now, Tristan? Anyone who actually thinks that you're not hiding right now is a joke.
Why won't you let me answer questions?
Oh, I'd love you to. Please. What's the argument for God?
What is the evidence that God exists is what you're asking me?
What's the argument? Yeah. Absolutely.
God is necessary for the existence of morality, ethics, right or wrong, to even argue a position. You require the existence of God to even argue that I should, to even say that I should answer your questions. You're assuming that morality exists. You're assuming that there is an ought. And for there to be an ought, you require something outside of your own personal preference. You require something outside of Isaac. Ask yourself, King Coomer. You require something other than Coomer Isaac's brain, right, to justify morality, objective truth.
Okay. Can I? All right. You want the response? Okay. So, are you taking the view that? Oh, you got.
Can I ask you questions now? Can I ask you a question?
You want to dodge the critique some more, Tristan, or you want to let me keep going? You gonna keep hiding like a little, or do you want to let me keep going and see if you can survive?
Oh, you're so
right,
good at art.
Right,
Go ahead.
Right.
So
right.
good at
you look almost a little scared. Now, Tristan,
I'm really
you gonna hide behind your buddy again here? Is he gonna come in? Okay, now, Tristan,
you are the poor
hiding behind the mute button. I see. There's the mute button.
I don't know.
There's the mute button. Hide. Classic Tristan move. Now, Tristan,
I didn't.
I follow.
Hold on, I'm gonna read the super chats. I got a super chat here. Jared Bear donates $5. Says, "Are you behind a webcam? You little hide." I guess he's talking to me. Yeah, I'm so scared. Thank you, Jared.
Okay, now if you wanna stop hiding behind the super chats, Tristan, or hiding behind humor, or hiding behind the mute button, or hiding behind.
What am I hiding from? What am I hiding from?
Oh, what you're hiding from with this very question right now is from me directly pressing you with a critique that will humiliate you. That's what you're hiding from, Tristan. Well, why don't we find out? Let's continue, okay? Now, are you taking the view that God is a necessary being? You say he's necessary for all these things. I assume you're taking the view he's a necessary being.
No.
No, I'm not talking to you, Deacon. I'm asking Tristan a question.
No.
Don't hide behind him.
No, why do you keep trying to make up? Why do you keep, look, dude, you keep trying to make up an argument for me.
I'm asking. Oh, see, there he hit again. he kicked me. So Tristan, did you want to stop hiding like a little bitch, or you want to hide and call it a night? If you want to go, you can flee. I mean,
I guess you failed pretty badly. Is that what you want? Seems like you sure want that. You sure want.
No, I mean, I'm good to go. I'm happy to just stomp you for as many hours as you want, dude. I got the time.
Well, I'm wondering if there's an argument. I'm wondering if there's an argument.
Well, if you recall where we're at in the dialectic, you invoke the trait being made in the image of God. So the question to you is, what is the argument that that we require God now, or sorry, that God?
Here's my question.
Now, you can stop dodging. Yeah, you're gonna flee behind the mute button. You're gonna hide again. So
I'm asking if I can answer you a
it
question.
sounds like you're trying to hide again, Tristan. So I'll just complete what I was going to say before you started trying to hide yet again, right? Now, you said God is necessary for certain things, right? So I thought maybe I can save some time and just ask him if he thinks God is necessary generally, right? So that's the question I have.
Absolutely. No, you
can't.
you can't have any of this. God is the creator of all things, visible and invisible.
Now, I'll also just point out that when I asked you, is God a necessary being, and you started actually answering the question, you'll notice my mouth went zip. The second you're actually addressing the point and not hiding, I'm in silence, my dude. Now, you said that God is... You said...
Am I your dude? Call me your dude again. That's really
gonna hide behind humor again? Is that another dodge there? Gonna flee? Hovering on the mute button there, Tristan? Oh, scared I'm gonna wreck you. Now... You said that God is necessary, right? So I take that to mean that there is a contradiction entailed by the non-existence of God. So what's that contradiction, Tristan?
No, I don't know.
Almost looks like you don't have an answer. Oh, you don't know what I'm saying. So you want to let
me repeat it? I don't know what you're
even
asking me.
Oh, sure. Why don't I? What? Oh, it's almost like you don't have an answer. So why don't I repeat the question? Okay. You said God is necessary, so I'm asking you. What contradiction is entailed by his non-existence?
What contradiction is entailed by God's non-existence? So you need a contradiction?
Yeah, if you say something is necessary, I assume
a contradiction
that is logically necessary, right?
Yeah, no. What is logic? What is logic? Can you prove to me that logic exists?
Here's the.
No, I'm serious. No, will you prove to me that logic exists?
Hiding behind the mute button again, Tristan. Hiding behind the mute button.
What is logic, Isaac?
Are you going to keep hiding, or are you going to let me run the critique, Tristan?
No, I'm getting bored with you're not doing anything.
You just want to hide, or do you want to try to answer the critique? Because
I want you to tell me what logic is.
It's almost like the second that I get you in a corner where you can't answer something, right? You start doing the fake laugh, you start doing the super chats, you start trying to ask me questions, right? My worldview could be total bullshit. A Christian could ask you these same questions, right? I could be some completely contradictory moron, right? You asking me what my view is beside the point.
But, no, I did. I answered your question.
Oh, shit. Hey, one sec. You let me back in. One sec. Okay, yo, hey, little you gonna answer some questions? Oh, you got people to hide behind. You're gonna hide behind these people, Tristan? You're gonna hide behind your buddies?
You're such a virgin, dude.
Did you wanna let me? You should think that's noble, buddy. You're Christian, aren't you? Tristan, did you want to deal with the critique, or you want to hide behind your friends?
I don't hear a critique. I just.
Then why don't I continue? So you had said that God is a necessary. You had said that God is a necessary being.
I'm not sure what's going on here, Isaac. I'm kind of confused, man. You seem.
Oh, I'm trying to get an answer to a question. I asked you to name the trait. You said being made in God's image. I asked you what the argument for God is. You said he's a necessary being. I asked what contradictions entailed by his non-existence, and you started hiding. So what's the contradiction, Tristan? This is exactly how Jay got destroyed too, by the way. You follow in his footsteps. Oh, there's the cringy fake laugh.
Right, there's the cringy fake laugh. Luthien the Mortal sends $4.99 super chats.
Hiding behind the super chats. Hiding behind the super chats.
You want to find out? Find out.
We can't.
Hiding behind the mute button. There's the mute button.
Come at me and you'll find out how.
Mute button hide. He kicked me off again.
Here he comes. He's gonna destroy us now. Hey, ask yourself, Isaac.
Did you want to answer the question, or are you gonna keep hiding, Tristan?
What's your question?
Okay, so the question, as it was before, is what contradiction is entailed by the non-existence of God?
The logic, reason, truth, right?
Those are nouns. Those are nouns. That's not a contradiction.
All of those depend. All of those depend on the existence of the metaphysics. All those depend on the existence of something outside of Isaac's coon brain. Okay.
Where do morals and ethics come from in a world without God?
Are you going to hide behind this guy, or can I address what you just said, Tristan?
Oh, nobody's hiding behind everybody. This is open line.
I think you're
not about you. I know you think it's always about you.
You're grateful. Look, there's the mute. There's the mute. Right there you go. There you go again, hiding. Right, like a little bit. Now, Tristan, what you just said as far as I understood, correct me if I'm wrong, right? You're saying, I asked, what's the contradiction that's entailed by God's non-existence? And you went on and said something about God is necessary for logic or truth or any of these things,
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you understand what a contradiction is, Tristan? Because what you just said, not a contradiction.
What I'm just telling you is you are a living contradiction.
Oh, there's the non-answer. There's the dodge. There's the dodge.
You won't let me. So you won't let me speak.
Well, you're dodging. Why don't you answer the question instead of hiding? I asked you if you know what a contradiction is. Yeah, what's a contradiction?
Well, yes, I know what a contradiction is.
Okay, define it formally. Okay. Oh, there's the laugh. There's the laugh and the dodge. Can you do it, Tristan?
Contradiction.
You could just admit that you don't know what a contradiction is, or you could define it.
No, you are a walking contradiction.
Oh, there's another statement that's not defining it. You're just saying some shit about me, right? Let's say I'm a contradictory moron. Who cares? It's irrelevant, right? Do you know what a contradiction is, Tristan?
Let's say I don't know what a contradiction is. I'm a contradictory moron. Let's say
that's fine. If you don't, do you
want me
to...
Nobody knows anything except Isaac.
You're just dodging again.
What is your argument?
Here's the dodge, right? Now, you might notice that you're the one who's actually got the bird in here. What is the argument? You might notice that here's the dodge, right? Here's you trying to dodge by asking me questions, right? Now, Tristan, can you actually handle the line of questioning, or are you going to try to grab the line of questioning and run your own? Because you know that I'll just corner you if you let me talk, right? That's what you...
I'm listening, Isaac. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Well, you know what? I actually appreciate that, but I hope, and if you're going to be reasonable, then sorry for being a dick to you, but I hope that you won't give this guy cover, okay? I really want him to actually grapple with what's being said instead of hiding behind people, super chats, fake laughter, and other garbage, asking questions that aren't necessary to answer my questions, etc. Right? I really hope that you won't contribute to that. Oh, there we go.
Hey, Isaac. How you doing?
Sorry, one second. Can you hear me, Tristan? Am I coming through?
Yeah. Sorry, just wanted to reboot real quick.
Okay.
You there?
So we're gonna try again. Okay. Here, let me just get my recorder over here. I've recorded all of your hiding here with all of my voice the whole time, so everyone can see what you've done. It'll be going up.
I'm hiding. Yeah. What am I hiding from again?
This question. What is the
Okay, so let me ask you your question first. Can I ask you a question?
Here's the hiding.
Could I ask you your question now? You said I could ask you questions earlier.
You can ask me questions after you produce an answer to the series of questions I'm asking you, or concede that you can't react to the line of question. Okay. Now the question that you've been dodging. Nope. The question that you've been dodging is, what contradiction is entailed by God's non-existence, Tristan?
That's not even my argument, dude. Why can't I ask you a question?
Oh no, you said that God is a necessary being, right? I take that to mean logically necessary.
Absolutely.
Does that mean
and denying God and the fact?
Okay. Do you understand? Wait a second.
No, listen. You're gonna let me explain.
Okay.
I can't speak. Can I speak?
You just to be
Can
clear.
You're gonna reboot. Can I speak?
You said God's necessary, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. For morals,
right?
For right and wrong,
now,
for there to be an ought.
To say God's necessary is to say that a contradiction is entailed by his non-existence.
No.
What?
No.
Oh, so you think there's... Sorry.
Shut up for a second. God is necessary for the very preconditions that you require to be able to ask a question. God is necessary for there to be morality, for there to be right or wrong, for there to be objective morality, for there to be objective truth. You require something outside of Isaac's Coomer brain to determine what is right or wrong.
Just to be clear,
you pretend like there is right or wrong.
Just to be clear, you want to answer instead of hiding, Tristan? Just to be clear,
I just answered.
There's more to follow, right? You don't get to just answer one and then run for the hills like a little cowardly rat, right? I'm hoping you can actually address the whole critique instead of fleeing like a coward, right?
Go ahead.
Now,
okay, go ahead.
When you just to be clear, you will concede that there's no contradiction entailed by God not existing. Will you admit that?
No, I don't know what you.
Okay, then what's the contradiction?
There's what contradiction? What are you saying?
Oh, it's almost like you're completely Tristan. Okay, so I'll ask you again, right? Will you concede that no contradiction is entailed by God not existing?
That's your argument?
No, that's a question.
That's your argument?
you don't know what an argument is. An argument's a set of premises and conclusion. You're obviously too stupid to know any formal logic. The question, Tristan, it's a question, not an argument, is will you concede that there's no contradiction entailed by God not existing?
Well, I concede. No, I'm not going to concede any of your silly little
then what is the argument? Show me. What's, in fact, just before an argument, just tell me.
Can I ask questions?
No, you can answer the line of questioning that you're trying to scurry away from. You're going to scurry into the gutter, Tristan?
Scurry into the gutter.
Yeah, it seems like that's what you're doing, because you know if you let me run the critique, you get right? Do you want to try again, or are you going to hide?
You destroyed nothing except
there's the mute button. There's the
destroyed
mute.
nothing
There's
except
the mute
yourself
button.
Over and over again.
You gonna kick me, Tristan? You gonna hide, or do you want to deal with the critique?
That's what you want, because then you could think that you win, and this is what you do every time.
You're gonna scurry away.
I've answered
like
all your questions.
Oh, okay, great. So why don't you produce an answer to this question, Tristan?
Am I allowed to answer questions?
No. Oh, absolutely. So here's the question.
Can I ask questions too?
Nope. You're welcome. Nope. You're welcome to answer the question that you're scurrying away from like a little
only allowed
rat,
to answer
Tristan.
questions here, right?
So
I can only answer
take your little ratty mind. Focus it on the conversation.
Oh, my ratty mind. You're the one.
Oh, there's the mute button. There's the hiding.
Fantasizing about
sodomy.
sodomy.
He's hiding again.
Fantasizing about
oh, there's the hide.
You
gonna mute? You gonna mute or you gonna answer? You little. You gonna answer? So here is the question, Tristan. You said that a contradiction is entailed by God's non-existence, right? I asked you. Well, you just concede there's no contradiction entailed. You said no. Okay.
You won't let me answer. You won't let me speak.
I will absolutely let you answer. What is the
shut up.
and make sure you're answering. Make sure you're saying what the contradiction is. That's the answer to the question, Tristan.
The fact. You want me to say what you want.
More humor dodge, right?
Oh, humor.
You can't do a straight up convo, right? If you talk to me straight up, you get wrecked.
Hey, sodomite. Hey, you disgusting little coomer animal.
Hiding again.
Hey, ask yourself. You disgusting little weasel. Here's my answer.
Okay, yeah.
Here's my answer.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Here's my answer. You require God for morality, logic.
I heard this. You're repeating yourself.
Truth.
I had.
You're trying to base your argument on
I've
logic
heard all this.
and morality.
I've heard and replied to all of this, Tristan.
No, you haven't replied to anything.
Do you want to hear the reply? Look, I heard what you said. When I ask what's the contradiction, you say God is necessary for truth, God's necessary for objective morality, God's necessary for logic. You can't have any of that without God, right? That's your answer, or am I getting you wrong?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You cannot have logic without God. You can't have morality without God.
Okay.
You can have
so do you want to hear the problem with that answer, Tristan? I'll repeat it for you since your little brain didn't manage to catch it the first time. You want me to repeat
What is your argument? What is your argument, dude? What is your argument?
Wait a second. It's not an argument. I'm not delivering premises and a conclusion right now. I understand you don't know the first thing about formal logic. That's fine, right? So just don't use words like argument when you don't know what they mean. You don't know what words like that mean. So just
all you've got is insults.
Oh, no, I'm happy to...
insults.
Well, here's the... If you want to hear the reply to what you just said, okay? Now,
what's your argument?
I asked... Just try to follow. I'm sure you can make it through. Just try not to hit the
You won't.
button,
You won't give an argument. Go ahead.
Oh, I will if you'll just let me talk. Okay. Well, there's questions before an argument, but the question initially was what's Tristan. I'll walk you through the whole thing, and we'll get right up to this answer you just gave.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, the first thing that I asked was what's the trait? You said being made in God's image, right? I said okay. So, what's the argument that God exists? And then you say you said all this stuff about he's necessary for logic, necessary for this, necessary for that. I said, okay, Tristan, do you take the view that he's a necessary being? You said yes. I say, okay, Tristan, what contradiction is entailed by his non-existence? Now, your reply to that, which you just told me, I characterized. Oh, there's the humor dodge, the laugh dodge.
All you have is a giant straw man.
Sorry, what did I say there? That's a straw man. What did I say there? That's not completely accurate.
Everything is a straw man that you just presented here.
Wait, sorry. What's the straw man?
Can I ask you a question now, Isaac?
No. If you think I'm being inaccurate,
I can't ask you any questions.
No. This is about. If you want to ask questions, you can admit that you can't deal with the critique. Then I'm happy to take your questions. Oh, it's really a thing of beauty, isn't it? He's got me back again.
Repeat.
Sorry, I'm not even.
Hey Isaac, if you're not gonna actually bring an argument, if you're not gonna let me actually explain my position, if you're not gonna let me speak, if you're not gonna let me actually give you my
come
answers,
up with whatever excuse you want.
Any questions? If I can't ask you any questions, what's the point, dude?
Come up with whatever excuse you want.
Your name is so apt, right?
Do you want to deal with the critique?
All you do.
You want the critique or you want to hide, Tristan? Critique or hide?
Yeah. It's all hiding, right? It's all hiding.
Yeah, because you won't let me run the critique.
Can I ask you any questions?
If you want to admit that you can't reply to the critique, sure. But if not, then no, I'm going to ask you the questions.
I can't ask you questions, and when you
not unless you want to admit that you can't address the critique.
Can I ask you something?
Nope, not unless you want to admit that you can't address the critique.
Can I ask you any questions at all?
Nope, not until you admit that you can't address the critique.
Dude, even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who is your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude, even vegans don't get your weird, stupid